Hi everyone, hope you're well. I hope everyone's recovered from their Easter and they're back on their homeschooling for the older children. This week is St George's Day, 23rd of April, and we celebrate St George's Day with the red and white flag, very patriotic. So I thought that I would read you a story this time about St George and the dragon. Bit of a history behind what St George's Day is all about. This book is an Osborne Young Reading book, and it's retold by Louis Stoll and illustrated by John Jovan. So let's give this a go. Are you ready? Here we go. A king was strolling on his battlements one day. As he admired his kingdom, he saw a dark shape in the distance. Can you see? It's a dark shape. It came closer and closer. Oh no! And closer! What is it, guys? Oh, can you see? Dragon! It was a dragon! Its eyes flashed like fire as it flew. It let out a mighty roar, and jets of yellow flame shot from its mouth and nose. The king screamed, "Help! Guards! To the roof, now!" The dragon soared in a loop round the castle. It roared again, and a river far below dried up with the sizzle. The king's guards rushed onto the roof to see what the king was shouting about. There he is, look. Fire-breathing dragon. The dragon roared once more and set 5 fields on fire. The guards stared in horror. Turn this way a bit, maybe. Let's try that, shall we? "Stop that dragon!" ordered the king. "It's going to burn us all to cinders." His guards hastily fired their bows at the dragon. Swooped through the sky, arrows flew through the air. Can you see? They got king's ordering the bow and arrows to the dragon. What's going to happen? Shall we see? Each arrow hit the dragon, but then, ping, 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 the arrows all bounced off. The dragon laughed. "You can't hurt me, but feed me once a day and I'll leave you alone." The king agreed. What else could he do? "Bring food to my cave by the lake," said the dragon, and with one last roar, it flew away. What do dragons do? Roar! Reminded me of Shrek then. Do the roar! Anyway, feeding the dragon. Oh, feeding the beast. Sorry. The next morning, the king's guards crept to the cave. They left 2 fat, juicy sheep for the dragon to eat. When they came back the next day, the sheep were gone. The dragon ate 2 sheep a day until there wasn't a sheep left in the kingdom. "Well, we'll have to feed it cows instead," sighed the king. Oh dear. So the dragon's eaten all the sheep. What do? And now they're going to try cows. The next morning, guards brought the dragon 2 cows. As they were leaving, the dragon opened an eye and scowled. "I don't like cows." "Bring me something else to eat," it said, "or I'll burn your kingdom to the ground." So the guards ran away to a nearby farm and fetched some plump chickens. "How about these?" said the leader of the guards. "Yuck! Ooh. I hate chickens," snarled the dragon. "Bring me something else." Oh dear. The guards left again and came back with pigs and goats instead. Luckily, The dragon liked those. Unluckily, it swallowed them down in a few gulps. "I'm still hungry," it growled. "Bring me a princess," roared the dragon. "I want something sweet for a change." "And don't pretend you don't have any princesses," it added, glaring at the guards. "I know the king has a daughter. I saw her as I flew over his castle." He wants to eat the princess. "Bring her to me tomorrow at sunrise," the dragon went on, "or I'll burn the kingdom to the ground." And it let out a burst of white-hot flame to show it meant what it said. The guards rushed back to tell the king the terrible news. When the king heard the dragon's threat, he went white. "I won't allow it," he declared. "Not my daughter." "But father, I have to go," said the princess, "or he'll burn us all." The king knew she was right. With a heart as heavy as lead, he ordered his grooms to get the princess's horses ready. Early the next morning, the princess rode to the dragon's cave. It was fast asleep. The princess saw its sharp, pointy teeth, shuddered with fear. Ooh. As the sun rose pink over the hills, she heard the sound of hooves. Was it her father coming to say one last goodbye? But it wasn't the king. It was a handsome knight on a beautiful white horse. He carried a long lance in one hand. When he saw her, he gave a cheerful grin. "Hello, I'm George." "I heard about the dragon," he said. "I'm here to help." The princess was overjoyed. "Don't be afraid, princess," he yelled. He swished his lance. "I'll save you." "Thank you, George," the princess whispered. "But please," she added, "could you be as quiet as possible as you ride closer, or you'll wake the..." Roar! Too late. The dragon reared up on its scaly legs. It was awake and ready for a fight. Oh dear. George whirled round to face the dragon. Flames shot out of its nose. They licked at George. He didn't move away. Instead, he thrust his lance with a powerful blow. It should have skewered the dragon right through. But this dragon was as hard as diamonds. Oh, what's going to happen? George's lance bounced off the dragon's belly, pushing George backwards. He fell from his horse to the ground with a clattering thump. The dragon roared and spat another fiery cloud at George. The princess looked on in terror. Was her rescuer going to need rescuing himself? George started to stagger to his feet. He reached for his lance, ready to charge again. Let's see what's going to happen next. It was no good. George's lance bounced off the dragon's scales and fell to the ground once more. "George, look!" the prince cried all of a sudden. "There aren't any scales on his nose." George peered closer. Sure enough, the dragon's nose was soft. It didn't have any scales there at all. "Well spotted, princess," said George. But as he prepared to attack, the dragon began to lash its head from side to side. George looked around and had an idea. "Princess, pull your belt, tie a loop at the end and pass it to me." The princess was puzzled, but she did as she was asked. "Thank you, princess," said George. He swung her belt around like a lasso and threw the loop over the dragon's head. Then he pulled it tight and threw the end to the princess. "Hold on!" ordered George. and leapt onto his horse. Before the dragon knew what was happening, George charged with his sharp lance. With the princess holding the dragon's head, George speared its soft nose. Blood spurted out. The dragon howled in pain. It gave a great roar and tried to break free, but it was well and truly caught. George has got the dragon. Now, dragon, said George, I'll let you go if you promise me you'll leave this kingdom and never, ever eat a human. The dragon nodded sulkily. But if I hear that you're breaking your promise, said George, pointing his lance. The dragon took the hint and flew away as fast as its wings would carry it. George and the princess rode back to the castle and told the king the whole story. You saved my darling daughter, cried the king. How can I ever repay you? He offered George a heap of shining golden coins. You could buy your own castle. No, thank you, said George, shaking his head. Gold is too heavy to carry when I'm on an adventure. Said the king. And he offered George a pair of fine horses. Their brindles were studded with gems and their coats gleamed in the moonlight. Thank you, sire, George said, but I have a horse. How about half of my kingdom? Said the king, who was running out of ideas. No, thank you, said George politely. All I really want is another adventure. And with that, George rode off into the distance, looking for more dragons to defeat. There we go. That's the story of George and the dragon. So, George was a brave, brave man, wasn't he? And he got rid of the dragon and saved the kingdom. And he didn't ask for anything in return. Hope you have a lovely few days. I'll try and do some more videos and try and do some more dancing videos as well. And hopefully I will see you guys soon. Also, St George's Day is this week. It's Thursday, 23rd. I forget what day of the week we are on at the moment. I think it's Tuesday. I'm not quite sure. But if it is, enjoy St George's Day. Maybe ask for a piece of paper from Mummy and Daddy and a red pen and draw a red cross. And that's the symbol for St George's Day. I don't think I've got one in here at the moment. No, I haven't. That's the symbol for St George's flag. Maybe you could still do a thank you sign for the NHS and for all the key workers that are helping us to stay at home safely and to keep everything going. Okay? Well, love to you all. Take care soon. And see you. Bye-bye.